Hi, everybody, and welcome to Minute to Skim It. I'm Miss Jen.
Huh? Yeah, and I am Bean.
/ Miss Jen.
/ Miss Jen, yeah.
This is Minute to Skim It, where we're going to review some books that are coming out this week for you guys. With one exception. One came out last week, but we wanted to review it again. So
Yeah, well, we didn't get to read it last week because of the delays with our comics not coming in for a few days. And I said on last week's show, I'm gonna read this. We're gonna do it next week, and it's next week. We've got Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body.
So, hey, Drew! Yeah. By the way, Drew is watching us from the YouTubesville. Thank you so much for watching us from YouTube. Subscribing is awesome because it helps us out. It seems like a dumb thing to ask for, but it's super true. But Drew's brand new. He just moved here, and it's already become part of our family store. So, speaking of stores, local comic shops rely on you. They just want to see you once a week or once a month. Just a little pick up $5 for this stuff. That's all it really takes to keep your favorite places in business, same as your favorite restaurant or anywhere else. You'll know it's been too long when you walk into a place and you're like, hey, I feel like I was just here, but the whole place has changed. And they're like, yeah, we remodeled 4 years ago. Yeah, it's been too long. That's happened here, actually. ComicShopLocator.com is a great place to hunt down a local comic shop near you. Just do your zip code where you are, and you can totally jump in. We're going to review comic books that are coming out this week, with a small exception of there are still some shipping delays. So do check in with your local comic shop to make sure when theirs are going to arrive. They are not telling you a fib. There really is a crazy, weird supply chain problem that's going on. But the cool thing is that the books are absolutely coming. It doesn't really matter when you read them. And we're not going to do spoilers. So
yeah,
you go.
Oh, I go. Alrighty. Let's start off. Let me just start up here at the top with some Wonder Woman Evolution. Now, this one is it's really interesting because this one starts off with a villain in a museum holding a bunch of kids hostage, like the classic setup.
Wow.
And then Wonder Woman has to come in, and basically the superhero who calls herself Silver Swan, she is specifically waiting for Wonder Woman. She's done this to get Wonder Woman to come there, and they know each other. And it comes out that Silver Swan, they have some sort of history, which I'm not sure if it's come up in a comic. I haven't seen it. Hannah is nodding, a resident expert. But basically, Wonder Woman and Silver Swan, they get into an altercation, and they're fighting. And it's a very classic comic story of straightforward superhero. But the whole time, there's this sort of kind of a narration going on about humanity and about evolution, and humanity has reached this next point, and being kind of vague about it, but at the end it's set up that Wonder Woman is going to be basically the champion of humanity in some sort of intergalactic something trial. We don't really know. Like I said, it's a really cool, and it's definitely setting up who what Wonder Woman we're seeing in this, what the deal is, where her mind is at, and at the end it's just all and transported magically, and I am so excited for number 2 because I don't know what's going to happen in it.
For half a second, I really thought you were going to say that what was going to happen to humanity is that we're all going to get superpowers.
It does not sound like that. It sounds like they don't trust us even with the abilities that we have now.
Oh, so, they should not. They should not. It's clear that we should not be allowed to have sharp things.
Yep. So, and I guess they're going to have Wonder Woman convince them if humanity should be sort of nipped or not. But,
oh, man. Please have mercy on us. We don't need anything else.
Yeah.
This is Sonic the Hedgehog, Imposter Syndrome. It has a really awesome premise. I will have to say that you probably don't need to know very much about Sonic to enjoy this book, even if you just want to jump in for the first time. You do need to know that Eggman's a historical bad guy for the universe, because they're mentioned in this. So the book is about this bad guy character. Now, forgive me, I don't know if this bad guy character has existed before. It could be their first appearance. But they look kind of like a cross between a cow and a duck. If that helps you guess who this character is. Because they never say what their name is, which is always annoying to me. Mm-hmm. Usually it's like someone walks in the room and says, "Hey, Professor blah blah," or whatever. That's super helpful. They did not do that in this one as far as I could see. But this character is a kind of like a contemporary of Dr. Eggman, who's the normal bad guy. And this character has decided that they have figured out the new formula for actually defeating Sonic, and that's to throw everything on its side, get rid of Eggman, because he's obviously tried every way to do it, and it's not going to make any sense. And this character has created or given extra power to or found 2 new characters that I don't believe existed before. But they're one of them is a really sweet, quiet character that has pretty impressive powers, and the other one's another speedster. And I guess the idea is to get rid of Dr. Eggman, and then Sonic will be done away with, and then these will be the replacements. But I don't think that's going to happen, of course. For people who don't know about Sonic the Hedgehog, I know, I apologize. All I know is that he runs fast and collects rings. Yeah, and that there's some other friends that he has that make cool plushies.
Let's see here. Continuing on our DC for the week, which DC had a very good week. Like, so we got Wonder Woman Evolution, we got Robin's #1, and actually at the end of all 3 of these comics is a little sample of a series they're coming out with in December, which I'm so excited about. So if you pick up any of these, you're going to get a little sample of the Batgirls comic that they're going to be coming out with in December. I'm so excited. Hannah's so excited. It looks awesome. Like, make sure that you pick up one of these this week just so that you can be as hyped as we are for Batgirls, because it looks phenomenal. I mean, awesome. And this one, which is another one of our... This is one of the one-shots I've been doing. So this is Fear State, Batman, Secret Files, The Gardener. And if you're not familiar with the series, they've basically been doing little one-shot backstories for all of these villains that they're introducing over the last year or so. And so this is a really, really good one. It's a one-shot. You don't need to worry about it, about collecting any more or having any in the past. And it does fit right in with the main Batman storyline that's going on. But this is the Gardener, and she is very, very cool. And she was a classmate of Pamela Isley before she became Poison Ivy. Oh, and that's what you learned from this. So she has a lot of history with Poison Ivy. And basically, the Gardener, what she does, instead of, they were all in the same kind of botany program, but she decided that in order to protect plants, she would breed sentient, like, carnivorous plant monsters. So, I love monsters. So she's got, I don't think you can see any of them on the cover, but she has like these big beast plants that attack people and eat people. And
I'm just trying to figure out what it looks like in my head that isn't like a potted plant from. Yeah. I gotta figure out what those look like in my head.
Yeah. And so it's basically just Audrey. And this is so good, and it goes through in her history with Poison Ivy, and it also goes in what her plan is going to be moving forward in sort of like her thinking, and she's having this actually just a conversation with Batman about Poison Ivy. So it's really good. I love the series they've been coming out with the Peacekeeper one and what is Molly? What is her? Miracle Molly. They've all been so good. So yeah, definitely check this one out because the Gardener is a very cool character.
Hey, James. James has a question. Are they the same ones as in the Batman books?
The same villains?
The same monsters.
Yes.
Should be.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, because these are made as like tie-ins to the main story that's going on right now. Yeah. So they're the same ones.
Yeah, they're not what ifs. These are connected to the main universe stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna do Amazing Spider-Man 78. And what's so funny about this? It's the Beyond storyline, but it means it's 78.bay. He's your bay. All right, so what's been going on in Amazing Spider-Man? It's a weekly book right now. If you haven't figured that out, it's been coming at you hard and fast. This company, the Beyond Incorporated, I think, has bought the rights to a great many superheroes, including Spider-Man, who it is, I guess Pete had some kind of accident or got hurt and got replaced by Kane. So it's totally somebody else in the suit right now. And now this is talking about other characters that are being told what to do by this corporation who also have rights to them, which is Misty Knight. And I've totally forgotten her name. Oh no. I knew I was going to do it. I should have written it down. But that's really about them sending these two out, go and do jobs that they want them to do instead of, I don't know, maybe it's easier, right? If you just get told, just get sent out to do the things. I'm going to see how much more I can tell you. I don't want to mess anything up in the storyline for you. This is such a fun story.
Yeah, James in the comments says that he didn't realize it was weekly, which it was funny. We were just talking about if there were any books that were still doing weekly, especially with all of the paper shortages and stuff, but Spider-Man can do it. Spider-Man has the pull to be weekly.
Spidey can do whatever they want. Okay, I do remember. So they get hired because there is a big bad that is attacking the city. And it has this weird component where reality seems bent a little bit. There's the Avengers Mansion. You guys remember that, where they actually train there? They go into the Avengers Mansion in this one, and that's pivotal to the story. And then the bad guy that they're sent to go and defeat supposedly has this big power source that the corporation wants. Well, the way that all gets, thank you, Colleen. I don't know why I can't remember Colleen. I know a friend that's Colleen. Colleen Wing.
Nice.
She's a redhead, so I like her. So the whatever this power source is, there's a twist about that. So this is probably an important issue just because of the way that part rolls out. I don't know how this is tying into the overall story of this company controlling everything. But you gotta keep a story going, and this one's keeping me interested. That's good.
Alrighty. Now, last week's book today. It's regarding the matter of Oswald's body. This one I was so excited for. I was so bummed when it was one of the ones that got delayed. And so we've got it this week. I got to read it, and it is so good. And this, especially this first issue, is like getting the gang together montage. Like in the spy movie where they go around and they're like, you have the skills we need. That's what this book is. That's what this is. Is they're like, and I mean, this, it's not a spoiler, but one guy, he's literally like, you could hotwire a car just by looking at it. We need you on the team. I mean, it's like classic, like spy, like heist movie.
I mean, I want that guy on my team.
Yeah. And it's so good. And it's definitely one of those where it's like they're getting the heist team together, but you as the reader do not know, and neither do most of the characters know what they're actually doing. And at the beginning, they're exhuming Oswald's body, as you know, from the title and everything. And you know it has something to do with that, but at this point, no clue. No clue. So it's awesome. So it's like heist combined with conspiracy. And it is so fun. It was worth waiting a week to be able to read this guy because it is so good.
And it's continuing on with the current trend of seeing who can come up with the longest name of a book. Because they could have just named it Oswald's Body, but no.
Regarding the matter of Oswald.
With more gravitas.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, and it is a great cover. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like what are other really long named ones? We only find them when they're dead.
Mm-hmm. The Me You Love in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We didn't have that many this week.
It's the farthest place from here.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe someone needs to come up with a book that's got such a long title that the entire cover is just the title of the book.
Please don't. Please don't.
You have to make sense. You have to make sense, not just like a bunch of run-on words. I wonder if we can come up with one. You guys come up with your longest possible title that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So many good ones. I want to kind of like end on my favorite ones, but I think I like all of them. All right, well, I'm going to talk about Carriers.
Okay.
All right, Carriers is a red 5 book.
Mm-hmm.
And it is exactly what it looks like. It is carrier pigeons that are like a team, like, I don't know, like the A-Team. It's probably the best way to describe them. Or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or any cool animal that can do things that animals should not be able to do, but can. And are amazing at it. They find themselves in a big city. It looks like a New York-based one. I'm not 100% certain about that, but it is big city, and they have been seeing a lot of extra energy usage. I don't know what they're using to do that. Some kind of scanner, and they're trying to figure out what is doing it. And of course, it has to be another animal, right? It can't be another. It's not going to be a human. It's going to be another animal. So. We don't get to see them, but at the very end, what the animals look like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a fun book. It doesn't require you to have like deep thought processes about things.
Mm-hmm.
Just fun.
Just birds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to read it. It's already on my poll, I'm pretty sure.
A funny thing happened on the way to the forum is a bit longest name for a book.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That was a good one. Something's Killing the Children is another one. Good one, Drew. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Alrighty, let's talk about Robin's #1. Probably might be the biggest release from DC this week, as far as like #1s and things coming out. I know a lot of people have been excited about this one. This is a really, really cool book. It's 1 of 6, so it's gonna be. I was actually kind of surprised. How short the run on this is going to be, that it's only going to be 6 issues.
Oh, that's good. I like those short runs.
Yeah, I do too. And they're covering a lot of ground though. Like I think it is going to be so fun. It's got to be really fast paced. I feel like that's what's going to be happening with this. But it is on a surface level, it's exactly what you think it is. It's all the Robins fighting crime together.
Oh, as a team, they're not just like punching each other in the face?
No, well, they're arguing the whole time.
Well, okay. As long as it's snarky, tongue-in-cheek, bro talk.
Yeah. It's complete sibling, even though they're not literal siblings, but they're like, it's absolute sibling rivalry, bickering. And it is really good. And this first one is so good too, especially if you don't usually read DC, but you're like looking for an inroad. This is one of those inroad books. Because literally they like fight some crime, and then they are all sitting around in one of the older Robin's apartments, and they kind of do a little like reflection, like round table reflection on how long they were Robins for.
And how many times they've died.
Yes, literally, yes. and what their experiences and kind of what it meant to them. And so it's cool because it's sort of like a little primer for who all these Robins are. And so that it's a really good book to pick up if you're just like, oh, cool, I'm kind of interested in DC, but I don't really know.
Mhm.
It's gonna walk you through who all these folks are. And at the end, it's sort of revealed who the big bad is. They're gonna be fighting. I'm so excited. I told Hannah hasn't read it yet, but I was like, Hannah, you have to tell me what this means. So all the DC folks, if you're around the store this week after you read this, you can come explain to me, who is this person at the end? I don't know who it is. I don't know. But maybe some of our deep DC folks can be like, oh, I know who that is.
Do you guys have a favorite Robin? Can you guys sell us on what your favorite one is?
Yeah. Well, they're all in there.
Hey, Rob.
So,
what's up, my friend?
Yeah.
All right. Some cool Scout Comics books came in this week. It's really hard for me because I like reading all of them, so it's hard to choose. But The Lunar Ladies is a really fun book that number 3 is out this week. Imagine that you have a very special little girl whose moms are also like space explorers. And they've ended up somewhere where she has to use her power. And everything else about it is just kind of like, it almost feels like there's a lot of, like all the main characters are all female. And then there's like cavemen in this one, which is funny. It has a feeling of the genre, mood, and tone of it are kind of like, oh, what was that movie that had like Angelina Jolie and they were fighting giant mechs. It was a very period piece film. Man, I've watched it like a million times. I don't know why I can't remember. They have like this cool, like googly armed robots. It'll come to me if I stop thinking about it. But It's like a classic, 30s or 40s sci-fi film. It's kind of the way it feels, or like the, strip Flash Gordons. And a lot of their costumes are like that. But it's very modern in its telling. So it's really, really cute, and I like it very much. And it's not a stress you out book. Some of them are like, oh, gotta wait till next week to find out who dies. This one's just like, and she's awesome, and she uses her powers. And
in our response, and we got a response to who your favorite Robin was, and Rob says his favorite is Baskin Robbins.
Because Baskin Robbins don't play, yo.
Yeah. Oh, man.
The correct answer is Red Robin Gourmet Hamburgers. It might be.
I do like Red Ramen. They have a veggie burger.
I want to go to Red Robin now.
Oh, well, I'm going to do my Scout book I read this week, which is Commander Rao. And this one, talking about movies and like sci-fi movies, I think I would describe the art style of this and like the feel of reading this as cinematic. That's the best way I can describe reading this comic. It is a cinematic comic, and it's just, what I mean by that is just like, it has a lot of action. And basically Commander Rao, this lady right here on the cover, is like super soldier. I mean, like Captain America style super soldier. And to be honest, I did get a little bit confused with the story. I really want to reread this. I'm going to probably buy this and take it home and reread it. And because this is Minute to Skim It, we read a lot of books pretty quickly. I really want to take some time with this because this has some awesome action sequences. And the story behind it that's going on behind all of these awesome, I mean, there's so much movement in these pages. Like, it's not moving, but you feel it moving. And I absolutely love that. And Commander Rao is basically, she's going out and working on avenging the death of someone who's very, very close to her. And it is absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, another one from Scout, and it is a one shot. So this is, it's a pretty thick comic, and the whole story, it's beautiful. And it is also one of those where it starts with like a news article describing what happened, and then the very end of it is sort of symmetric, where it begins with one description and then on the other, at the end of the comic, it's like perfectly mirrored, and it's absolutely beautiful. Drew put in the comments, the Scouts putting out quality. That is definitely, this is a very quality comic. It is absolutely wonderful. I'm sorry if I didn't do a great job describing the story. I don't want to spoil anything either, so definitely check that one out if you can get it from your local comic shop.
I love to say that there are some comic book companies right now that I could, with no worry, say to a person, pick anything off the rack by them, take it home and read it, and you will 99% of the time like it.
Yeah.
That's Scout, Aftershock, Vault, Red 5, Boom. Yeah. They've got such breadth in what they're doing. And then there's companies that are coming up and doing those kinds of amazing things like Behemoth, Mad Cave. Man, there's so many really good ones that are starting out small but strong.
Yeah.
And I'm never sad about anything that I pick out with them. Now the problem that we're running into is that there's so much good stuff.
Yeah.
It's tough. Speaking of awesome books, we're at issue 6 for Black Cotton. If you didn't jump into this one, you should go back and grab it up, because it takes the world that we were living in with the social unrest that happened during COVID and flips it totally on its head. And instead of the whites being the majority, it's blacks. And Cotton is the last name of the main family that's part of this book. So think like a very rich family, like the Trumps, that have their fingers in everything and are well respected and all those kinds of things. And then something happens. One of the family members, who is a police officer, makes a knock-knock call to somebody and shoots a person in the house who just happens to be white, which, remember, in their universe, I think all the roles are reversed. And so that sets off a bunch of civil unrest in their universe, and they've been dealing with all of those things, and it comes to a head in this issue. It's getting real. So it's a good mental practice to kind of think of things from the other point of view. It's like you're born in the skin you're in, right? Can't fix that. But you can read these things and include people in your life that help you understand each other. That's what we need. Just understanding each other.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see here. And help me remember, is Black Caravan, is that an imprint from Scout?
From Scout?
Scout?
Yep.
Okay, I was gonna double check before I said that, because this is an Ashcan that they put out, which an Ashcan is a short preview comic, which my mom, who watches, she asked me last week, I was talking to her and she said, I like your show, but I don't know what an Ashcan is, and you keep using that word. So I'm gonna start explaining. It's like, hi Mom, and it's a very short preview comic, so that you can just pick it up and see, just a little taste of what it's gonna be when the full comic comes out. And this one is Playthings. And at the end of this, it says that it's gonna be coming to haunt you in 2022. I'm so ready to be haunted. It is.
Is it a spooky book?
This is a very spooky book, which you can kind of see from the cover too. This is. It starts off with the mom is like in this weird. I think, and what I think they're kind of implying is that she's inside of like a haunted, spooky toy box with like demonic toys that have come to life. And then she sort of snaps out of it, and it's almost like a flash forward, and it's her, the mom, and it shows you the family dynamic where she's separated from the father of her child, and they are trying to co-parent, but it's not going well. She's under a lot of stress. She's really struggling. So it is I'm really excited for this one. Like I said, you can pick up the Ashcan this week and just kind of get a little taste, and it's definitely worth it because this one is going to be so spooky and so weird. And I love the horror movie trope of where, like, you know, the trauma in regular life is like mirrored in the trauma of like the big spooky things. So it is absolutely awesome. Another great one from Black Caravan that I will be looking out for.
Okay, so spooky enough to you shouldn't read it right before bed.
Yes.
Or okay. I won't take that home and read it tonight.
Yeah, and it's got this artwork on the cover is what it looks like through the whole thing. It is very haunting artwork. Like, it's wonderful.
Sean says that Ashcans are great, but for him, it's Black Caravan. For it, then it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. All right, another very dark tale. There's been this series going on called Darkhold, and each one, like this is Darkhold Wasp. They're all independently told tales. You don't have to know anything. They don't tie together. So if you see a Darkhold that you're like, that character I like, just get that one. You don't have to get any of the other ones. No big deal. Or try a character that you've never, just know that the character doesn't operate the way it does in the real universe. This is a totally separate universe. If you open the Darkhold, which is that wicked book that that's the Scarlet Witch, if she's using it, watch out. Things happen in the Darkhold that are bad. So in this one, it's a tale of the Wasp, which, I forgot something. This is bad when you get old. I'm just going to tell you.
Well, and
reading 120 books. Oh, yeah.
And our regular viewers will begin to notice that I use a lot of the protagonist. This lady here on the cover. I'm so bad at remembering character names. But I remember what they're doing and what they're about. So I can point and say, this lady, this guy, cool guy. Yeah. That's who's in it.
This one's like real deep. Okay. So in this one, it's about the original Wasp, Janet. And she's married to Hank, right? So Hank Pym. But in this one, the Hank that she's married to, it's unclear whether he's being true to their marriage. He comes home without his ring on all the time. He says he accidentally left it at the lab. It's pretty cold to her.
The tea.
Yeah, very, very cold to her. And it's mostly a back and forth relationship story that comes to a very dark head. That's all I'm going to say.
I haven't been reading those, but I might pick that one up. That sounds good. Oh my goodness. All right.
There's a point that's made in the book about wasps. And the first thing that the book says is that male wasps have no purpose. They have no sting.
Oh my goodness. And I know you read more books this week than I did.
You
want to do one more? Also, because I read Chicken Devil #1, I'm excited to hear you talk about Chicken Devil #2.
Isn't this guy's name Hank too?
I don't remember his name. I just said I don't remember character names.
We're going to call him Hank just for fun.
Yeah.
So this is about a fellow. We're going to call him Hank.
Yeah.
That has opened up a chicken stand, restaurant kind of place. And in the first book, it looks like, is this his business partner or his brother? Maybe they're both.
I'm not sure. I think his business partner gets not a big huge spoiler. I thought his business partner got blown up in the first one.
Oh, well, maybe.
Yeah, but
whoever
I'm not
this
sure.
person that he knows, I think it might be his brother.
Yeah.
Stole a big duffel bag of cocaine of heroin, which he's got under his arm here. I think to do this reversed.
I think it's his brother-in-law.
Oh, brother-in-law makes more sense for the story. You're right. So in the first issue, the drug cartel guys who own the big duffel bag of heroin that his brother-in-law has stolen come after him at his restaurant and exact revenge. And at the end of that issue, the one guy who gets sent after him is killed. So this book is essentially this poor guy who has nothing to do with anything, has to dispose of the body. And that's kind of funny after watching a whole bunch of forensic files.
Yeah.
And he gets told that he needs to wear a disguise or come very sneakily to some kind of meeting, and he wears his chicken costume that he has for the restaurant. I think he's really trying to find a way in which he gets to keep his chicken restaurant and do what he wants to do. But that's never going to happen, man. They know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
They know that someone he knows has this big duffel bag of heroin.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, chicken and heroin don't mix. We'll just say that.
Mauricio is asking if you recommend it.
I do. If you like, if you're a fan of, what was that one where the teacher Breaking Bad? If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, definitely.
I have said that it is a combination of Breaking Bad and Arrested Development. Like if those two shows had a baby, it's Chicken Devil, because it's Breaking Bad with humor, because this man is not a criminal. He's just, I mean, I don't know, like the trombone music is going on behind him as he's like trying to do all these things.
I'll be kind of sad if it takes the normal progression where you have somebody that is not a bad guy and then they become a bad guy. It's kind of a done thing. I want it to end with he's still just a buffoon.
Yes, I do
somehow
too.
survives and gets to have a chicken stand still.
Yeah. Alrighty, I'm gonna do Watch Dogs Legion #1. So this is Ubisoft is crossing over with Behemoth to make this. So and I wasn't really sure. I mean, and I understand that this is based off of a video game. The video game, the concept of it is it's called Watch Dogs Legion, and it's about hackers. And it is specifically about you like recruit a bunch of people and you get to choose what characters you recruit. But it's not just conventional hackers. You know, you can like recruit like garbage men and like grandmas and like, you know, you can get creative with who you recruit.
What's our end game? What are we recruiting for? Because that's important.
Yeah, and that in the game it's like different missions and things like that. So I thought it kind of makes sense they made a comic of it so that it lends itself to that kind of a story, you know? I mean, and it's funny because I read this one this week where it's like getting the gang together, and that's what this one is too, in a very, very different way. But basically, in this one, it's just introducing you to this world. It's like a future version of London. It's dystopia. There are like gangs that are controlling parts of the area. There's like a huge corporation that also is doing bad things. The government is being shady. Everyone's shady. And the main characters, which are you're being introduced to, that are a part of DedSec, which is like the hacker organization. They are recruiting different people, looking at different people to bring into their organization to do operations. So this one really is catching you up for if you've never heard of the video game, if you've never played the video game, this is the world building issue. So Watch Dogs Legion #1, really good, and especially if you like the book, or if you like the video game and you like to read comic books, look, all in one. Ta-da! So it was very fun to read.
I'm gonna recruit smart people. I'm gonna choose a Bean. You need a Bean, and I need a David, who's our IT guy. I think I'll probably get anything done, right? With a Bean and an IT guy. Yeah, I think so. Nick Bertucci's in the house. Everyone say hi. Publisher at Dynamite.
Hi, Nick.
Super cool dude. I'm getting dizzy. I thought this was just going to be about a girl that did roller derby. That's not true at all. This is an adorable book about a girl who wants to find a way to be special. She has tried doing ballet and soccer and a bunch of other things. She just hasn't found a way to be like truly special, right? It's like not to be okay at something, to be like outstanding. And something magical happens, and these weird gloppy creatures. I don't know if you can see them. They look like might be soul suckers or something. I don't know. They gave them a certain name, and then she finds her purpose in life, which is to be awesome. This is adorable. It's a boombox book, so it is really truly designed to be aimed at teens. But I guess I must be a teen inside because I love it, and Hannah, you will love it too. You
Oh
totally
yeah,
read
it's
it.
already cool.
Yeah. I've started recognizing Hannah books. I was like, Hannah, is this one of your books? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The next one, I'm going to just show the cover and then probably put it back
They're
up.
called Negatrixes.
Those
They're
are
little, yeah.
Mega tricks. That's right, because
So
they're negative influencers.
So this is God Killer Spiderland. So this is a continuation of the God Killer comics. And this one, you do kind of need to know a little bit, but you can definitely infer if you haven't read. There's the original God Killer series and then God Killer Tomorrow's Ashes. I believe there's another series in there. But if you haven't read those, you could jump into here. However, you do need to be an adult. This is a very adult book. There's a lot of nudity, including on the cover. So it is, it's covered. But yeah,
Literally has
yeah,
strategically placed leaves.
yes, yeah. They do not have leaves on the inside of the comic, so definitely an adult book. But in this one, it is picking up from the previous series, and in it, the character Halfpipe. She is recovering. At first, she wakes up and thinks that she's dead, and she is hanging out in this sort of like cave with this bounty hunter called Soledad. And they are hanging out, and basically it's kind of getting you spun up on the story. They're talking about what happened, about what they're going to do next. You're kind of like learning more about those two characters. And that's what most of the book is sort of that conversation and them kind of going back and forth of Halfpipe really wants to go and save her partner. I'm not really sure like if they're direct love interest, but they're very close. And so she really wants to go save him, which I've forgotten his name, but he's the other main character from the God Killer series. Tommy, that's his name.
Now you remember three names. Her
Yes.
name, Soledad, the bad guy,
Yeah.
and the bow.
Yep. And so she really wants to go get Tommy. They have Tommy's arm in a bag because it's just that kind of a book. Because I guess they might try and put it back on. I don't know, but they just have his arm. It got cut off in a accident.
It's not funny, but it's hilarious.
So just to like kind of let you know what kind of book it is. And at the end, they come up with a plan they're enacting, and we'll see how well it works. I do love it. It's got a lot of chaotic characters, a lot of questionable decision making, very very little clothes. But I wish I could give them a shirt, but that's okay, so it's very interesting, very very cool comic, but yeah, definitely for adult readers only.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, where am I? Oh, I gotta shoes.
Are you gonna save this one till the very end?
I am, because it's my boy.
I've been
Rob.
waiting. Oh my goodness.
All right, from Behemoth, we've got a really interesting way to do a book.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is actually a book in here. It looks like a VHS, but there's a book that comes out of it. Whoop. Show it to you. And it looks like a VHS.
Even on the back.
On the back.
It's
so it reads like a normal book, right? There's a normal book in there.
Yeah.
But it's essentially about an active shooter situation that happens outside of a studio, a TV studio. And inside the TV studio, they are having a dating game. And those two things come together at some point in the most ridiculous way. It's a cautionary tale, really.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Mhm.
I know it's a weird format thing, like where you're going to put it. It's a weird size for your shelf, and it's the wrong size for your comic book box, but whatever.
Put it with your other VHSs.
Yeah, put it in your VHS.
Yeah.
There you go. People would be like, what movie is this? Because
Yeah.
it literally says VHS on the side.
Yeah.
So.
As soon as that came out of the box this morning, I was like, what is this? I've got to look at this. What is this? It just had that draw to it. So it was very, very cool.
This is so funny. It says in the late 90s, a program made its last tragic broadcast. Based on real cases, found footage is a horror comic book like you've never seen. Wow. Like, always when I read those things, I think it's like probably a thinly veiled lie. It's probably not based on anything in real life. But that's okay by me. And you don't have anything else, right?
No,
Grand finale?
that's the grand finale.
Okay. This is a book everyone's been waiting for. It's a vault book called Radio Apocalypse, done by Rom V, who's been having an amazing run that just finished on Catwoman, is finishing up his run on Swamp Thing, and has just started his run on Venom last week. And he's working with Anand RK, who he works with a lot. He did Blue and Green with him, and some other things. They've worked historically together, and Anand does a bunch of like super neon-y colors. Like, it looks like there's another colorish for this, but it has this is his footprint is this colorway, so probably is an informed thing. The book is about there's some apocalyptic event, which I'm not going to rob you of because it mentions it, I think, toward the very end what the apocalyptic event is. But it is a radio station that's like the only real modern thing that's happening anymore after this catastrophe has occurred. And I'm assuming that all of the events are just going to happen around the radio station, not be about the radio station. So don't worry if you're not about radio station stuff. This is specifically about two women who are desperately trying to reach safe harbor before it goes dark. It looks like there's something that happens after dark, which we don't see yet. So imagine, like in The Walking Dead, the city of Alexandria, how that felt like a safe space to get to, and being outside after dark is super bad. That's the way it feels. You don't see anything yet. One of them has got a bad injury, and they don't make it inside the fence, both of them. So it's really good. It's amazing. Everything that I wanted it to be. All right. And we have a few more minutes. So I'm going to show you guys some of the trades that are coming out this week.
Very cool stuff's coming out. You've got to show that one it's good when you pull it out the box and Miss Jen's like, wow, you've got to look at this, and I run over and we're both looking at it, and it was wild. But I've already forgotten the name of it. Of course.
We're all trying to claim it already, honestly.
Yeah.
Not a traditional comic book, but your kids might want this. Run out and grab Diary of a Wimpy Kid, because it never gets old, and you can't get me. There's cheese touch on it. I'm a lifetime player of the cheese touch.
Oh, man.
I still don't have it either.
We gave it to our friends, the Gelb's dad, and every time we were with him, he reminded me he's got the cheese touch. But he never gives it to anybody successfully.
Across the street from me. I still never got it.
This week is your opportunity to grab Home, which is about border crossing, but not in the traditional sense. When the boy and mom who get separated from each other, the boy himself actually has powers. So, so it's a coming of powers tale in a time of border crossing. Also, I Walk with Monsters is out. And an awesome Aftershock book, Shadow Doctor. Ooh, I loved this one. This one's really great. This is based on a true story, by the way. It's about Nathaniel Calloway, a black physician caught between medicine and the mob in 1930s Chicago. And then that storyline that's been going through a bunch of different titles, including Iron Man. It was all the annuals: Iron Man, Captain America, Avengers, Guardians, Spider-Man, Black Cat, Miles Morales, Amazing Spider-Man. This Infinite Destiny storyline has been put together in one readable place. This is the one we're both fighting over. So just so you know. So this one might be hard to find. It is an SLG title. And it's called The Book of Magrathum. And this is the pitch, just so you guys can see why everybody wants this thing. It says, "Behold, puny mortal, the eldritch tome clutched in your feeble hands has come from a nameless dimension beyond your comprehension. It follows the adventures of one Mr. Magrathum, former star employee of a living black hole's insanity acquisition department. Upon realizing his workplace enthusiasm has mysteriously vanished, Mr. Thum sets off to rediscover it on a small, smooth, mostly water-covered sphere known as Earth. Each accursed book purchase comes with an insane imaginary friend." And it is written. This caption was written by the shameless and quite possibly insane author. Imagination not included is what it says in this book. So there. Also, to pay attention, the actually released part of it last week. This is the Star Wars manga adaptation, Guardians of the Whills.
Of the Hills, isn't it?
Whills? WHILLS.
Is it?
Whills.
Oh, okay.
And also, there is a compilation of Star Wars High Republic Adventures, which is the IDW part of that big long story that is going on right now. A cool Invader Zim.
Yeah,
They
what
have
is
made
this one?
what, Dark Red?
Yeah.
Dark Red's awesome. This has been officially announced as being in development. This one is a crazy cool vampire book, but not in the traditional sense. So it says, Chip is one of the forgotten men. He lives in a rural area in the middle of the country where Jesus still has a place at the dinner table and where factories send jobs to Calcutta. Chip is also a vampire. Stuck working at the last shift at a gas station, Chip is lonely and bored. Then his dull, bleak life is turned upside down when she comes to town. He has a relationship with a girl who has a rare blood disorder that she needs to be bled. But then that's not the twist.
Oh, can I see that?
Yeah.
While we're talking?
This is the way it usually happens for me. When people start being like, mine, shh. This is an awesome part of a series that they've been putting out by NBM. This one is Love Me Please, Janis Joplin. There are also books that are about
The Beatles, right?
the Beatles and Led Zeppelin.
I think. And
Maybe.
then one other one that we had. I can't think of it.
And also a heads up, the Once and Future hardcover is out and about. Once and Future.
So
they did a lot of big pitches for it, and sure enough, it's been amazing.
Is that story completed at this point,
Once
or
and
is it
Future, nope,
ongoing?
it's still
Okay.
going.
It's still going. It's
Okay,
not
that's
going.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because usually, sometimes.
Jen asked me which one should be ongoing, and I said Once in Future.
It's true. And
That's what they did.
Scout just did a re-release or new release of a bunch of trade paperbacks. Long Lost is an amazing book about siblings. The
same team that does
Witchblood, that's right.
Witchblood.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Electric Black, part of that cool Black Caravan storyline. This is the one that the movie that's in works right now is going to be made based on.
I'm so excited.
I'm just pretty much telling you everything from Scout you should consider probably in development. Metal Shark Bro. Why not?
The comic tags over there, just so we can kind of show, because yeah.
And the Recount. So be looking for those at local comic shops near you. Also, if your local comic shop isn't carrying these yet, you might tell them to consider them. It's a new product that Scout Comics has put together called Comic Tags. They're awesome because they're a cute little package. The inside has a collectible card, and on that card it has a QR code, and that QR code has the entire trade paperback in it.
Entire thing.
The price point is $6.99, so it's a pretty cheap way to get your friends hooked on comics, like every good person should.
Mm-hmm. And they're also stocking stuffer sized, aren't they? Huh.
They perfectly would fit in those kind of places.
Yeah, I just thought we would bring them up because, like, until I started working here, I had seen those popping up around places, and I didn't really know what they were. But it's an entire trade paperback for $7 and a collectible card. I mean, they're really cool.
Yeah,
really
before digital trade paperbacks were that price point or more, and you didn't get anything collectible with them.
Yeah,
it just was the digital copy of a book.
Mm-hmm.
This way, you have something to collect and give. It's better than, like, I love so much the Humble Bundle things, but I get given them and I forget all about that link.
Yeah, because it's digital.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You gotta have it in front of you, Jen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do too.
So this way, it's totally in front of you. So iPad overload. Yep. So many things downloaded to there. All right, everybody. That is all of our books for this week. Do support your local comic shop. It's super important. Also, we're very thankful that you support us and watch this show weekly. I just realized that we're probably, and I'll have to go back and look, but I think we are at least in our 6th year of nonstop weekly reviews. When we started, people said that won't last. So, yeah. Don't tell me I can't do something.
Oh, man.
Mom and daughter. Ran business? Nope. But I will take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Sure. Not related.
Hair.
I know we have the same glasses, so I can totally understand it.
Yeah.
It is a woman-owned business, though, Lee. Yes.
Yeah.
Women with many women employees and male employees, and we are a very.
And your son does
everyone
work
should be here.
Yeah.
My son does work here,
Yeah.
but he has really long hair, almost as long as mine,
and much longer than mine. Yeah. So.
All right, so everybody, that's the end of our review show. If you are interested in making purchases, see us afterwards on our other shows that are buying shows, or your local comic shop, or all those things. Would be awesome. Thank you for seeing us on The Experience. Stay tuned. More stuff coming up next.
Bye.